Hello dear friends and subscribers, welcome to your usual late night cricket show this on a Saturday where we are going to look at day 2 in two test matches that were being played. One was at Newlands in Cape Town. As you know, it's known as the Table Mountain because of its shape of the ground, and well, over there rain definitely played a part, but the West Indies innings was wound up pretty quickly, and then South Africa definitely did a good job there, making 227 for 3 towards close of play. Well, as far as the other match is concerned, right now while I'm talking to you, I can just give you a cricket update, and then we would look at the match as to what happened. As you know, yesterday was the first day's play in the second and final test match between Sri Lanka and New Zealand, and well, it was Sri Lanka actually who won the toss, and they decided, in fact, yes, Sri Lanka won the toss, and they decided to actually put New Zealand in on a seaming pitch, and New Zealand were all out for 221. While I am talking to you, Sri Lanka, yesterday they were struggling, as you would remember, but today the Sangkarra, who is not out on 67 with 5 boundaries, playing a really very responsible innings. Not only that, he has been struggling for form, and finally he has hit some form at the right time, and he has also become the first Sri Lankan batsman to pass 12,000 runs in Test cricket, and he is being kept company right now by Dinesh Chandimal, who has also really batted himself into some good form here, because he is batting on 47 with 6 boundaries, and Sri Lanka definitely have recovered in a great way, because they were really struggling at 68 for 5, if you remember, at close of play on the first day, and here they are, the score looking very healthy now at 162 for 5, but still they have a long way to go. They are still 59 runs adrift of New Zealand's 221. So I'll come back to that. But first, what I'm going to do is we are going to look at the match between Sri Lanka and South Africa. Sorry, Sri Lanka and West Indies and South Africa, which was day 2. As you know, yesterday West Indies were the ones who were who had actually put up a good show to raise 270 odd runs for 6 wickets, and they have taken the honours there. The honours were even, but today it was pretty quick work. It was Dale Steyn, even though it was Jermaine Blackwood who was looking good. He went on to reach his maiden 50. Jermaine Blackwood got his 50 there, and he was having company from Jason Holder. So basically, they did a good job. They saw off the first hour of play by pushing the score on to 299, and things were going pretty okay for West Indies at the time. And that was the time Dale Steyn, who had not taken a lot of wickets, today really struck it big. In fact, he took some wickets, but he was not looking very powerful the previous day, but today he was amongst the wickets. In fact, first to go was Jermaine Blackwood, who was LBW bowled Steyn for 56 with 6 boundaries. Jason Holder was also scalped by Steyn for 23 with 4 boundaries, and then Morkel was the one who cleaned up the tail by getting Jerome Taylor's wicket for 13 with 1 boundary. Suleiman Ben was out for 5, Shannon Gabriel not out on 4, and West Indies were all out for 329. So I thought, as I said yesterday, that the best pair was Jason Holder and Jermaine Blackwood, but they couldn't really get on with things, and West Indies found themselves to be all out for 329. Dale Steyn bowled superbly, 25 overs, 6 minutes, 78 runs and 4 wickets, ably supported by Morne Morkel, who didn't take any wickets yesterday, but today he took 2 wickets for 83. And well, Simon Harmer yesterday, as you know, finished with 3 for 71. So, and then South Africa came into bat. I mean, they replied replying to West Indies 329 all out. All eyes were on Alvaro Peterson and Dean Elgar, because we have seen that South Africa have not been able to get any good starts. But today, definitely Alvaro Peterson really worked on his batting. Even though he hit one very good 6, he really, or Suleiman Ben, he really worked on his batting. He saw the initial phase of the pace bowling from Jerome Taylor, Shannon Gabriel and Jason Holder, and he was looking fairly settled at that stage. And but again, the problem was that South Africa once again couldn't give a good opening start. Every time there was Alfred Peterson who was failing, but today it was Dean Elgar who was dismissed early, as he was LBW bowl holder for 8. And at that time when Dean Elgar was dismissed for 8 with 1 boundary, Alfred Peterson was the one who had done the maximum scoring, because he had already got 40 out of that partnership, and he was looking good at that particular stage. But then it was a real case of real misunderstanding. In fact, du Plessis came in. Du Plessis started playing some pleasing strokes, and he was also offering some very good defensive batting there. And he and Alfred Peterson had taken the score to 104, and Peterson was probably almost gone into a shell, because once Dean Elgar was gone, we saw that Peterson really went into a sort of a shell and allowed du Plessis to actually do a lot of the scoring. But then it was a real serious misunderstanding. Actually, Peterson, the call was from du Plessis, and probably Peterson could have said no, but Peterson was the one who was running to the danger end. He decided to go forward, and that resulted in a real mishap there, because Alfred Peterson was run out for 42 with 3 fours and 1 6. So once again, Alfred Peterson missing an opportunity to score big, but nevertheless he got into some sort of form, and the score was 104 for 2. And then du Plessis was joined in by Hashim Amla at that stage. Hashim Amla was flowing with his strokes, and du Plessis, as I said, was playing some pleasing strokes, and suddenly another 53 runs was added. So West Indies were definitely onto it right away, because they were not allowing any partnerships to flower for South Africa, and that was precisely the case when the 3rd wicket was gone after du Plessis had contributed 68 runs with 8 fours. He came down the wicket to Suleiman Ben, and he was stumped by Dinesh Ramadan for 68. After that, from 157 for 3, there was a need for a big partnership, because and that big partnership, I wouldn't say a big partnership, but definitely much better than the other players who actually forged some partnerships. There was not any big partnership, but right now, well, South Africa would really be happy that they have two mainstay batsmen at the crease. Hashim Amla, the captain, was not out on 55 with 7 fours, and A.B. de Villiers was not out on 32 with 4 fours. And well, South African score was looking much healthy at 227 for 3. And that was the score line at close of play on day 2 of this particular test match. And well, Hashim Amla, as I said, flowing with his strokes. A.B. de Villiers also playing a bit sedately, one could say, and they were 227 for 3. So this partnership has already realized 70 runs, and West Indies would be pretty aware about it and pretty wary about it, that the only and as I said, rain came and actually spoiled the proceedings, and that was the time the play was called off at 227 for 3. Taylor had none for 59, 13 overs 1 minute, none for 59 for him. 12 overs 2 minutes, none 41 for Gabriel. Holder 14-3, 146 bowled well. Samuels 5.3, no 17, none. And Ben was the wicket taker, 24 overs 5 minutes, 62 runs on 1 wicket. But for West Indies now, the thing is, they have 102 runs still to really make to get into the lead. And one would consider that Hashim Amla and A.B. de Villiers, such wonderful batsmen, it's not going to be easy to dislodge them. Now, one thing for West Indies that they would be probably hoping is that right now they have another 11 overs to go before they could claim the new ball. Now that is their best bet. The first 11 overs would be probably they'll be bowling with the old ball tomorrow, but the best bet for West Indies would be the new ball. Now with the new ball, if they are going to fail to dislodge the pair of Hashim Amla and A.B. de Villiers, I am afraid South Africa would probably run up with a huge score, because they still have some batting still to come. And Hashim Amla and A.B. de Villiers, let me tell you, once they get stuck in, they can really forge a very big partnership and could really frustrate the West Indians. So for the West Indians, as I said, 68.3 overs have been bowled. So we are looking at another 11 overs approximately. And in 11 overs, the second new ball will be due, and West Indies have to strike pretty quickly. If not, I'm afraid to say that South Africa might post a huge total and once again pile the pressure on the West Indies. So it will be interesting to see what really goes on tomorrow, that is on day 3 at the Table Mountain here in Newlands in Cape Town. Well, from here let's get on to the other match. As I'm talking to you, I'm giving you a live update here from day 2, the match which is right now underway between Sri Lanka and New Zealand. And I'm going to tell you the story, but first let me give you an update here. New Zealand, as you know, were all out for 221 yesterday at the Basin Reserve in Wellington, and Sri Lanka currently are doing well. This partnership has really yielded a lot of runs. In fact, they have put on 88 runs for the 6th wicket, and it is really helping Sri Lanka to forge ahead right now. They're 166 for 5. Chandimal is not out. Chandimal has finally got his 50. Oh, what, after a long time. He has been really searching for form, and what a nice way to actually get into form at the right time. He came in when the chips were down, and he has really buckled himself to the task with the senior partner Kumar Sangkarra nurturing him. And well, Sri Lanka find themselves to be in a much healthier situation than what it was the previous day. They are currently placed at 167 for 5. They require only another 54 runs to get into the lead. Now let's go into the story. So just talking about the story as to what happened on the first day's play of this particular test match. As I said, Basin Reserve in Wellington is something which always helps the bowlers, and that was definitely, if you look at it, Sri Lankans were the ones who actually won the toss, and without any hesitation they decided, seeing that there's some cloud cover there at the Basin Reserve in Wellington, the Angelo Matthews, the Sri Lankan captain, decided that he would really insert the New Zealanders first. And well, initially I wouldn't say there was much movement. We couldn't see much seam movement going on when Lakmal and Pradeep were bowling, but then it was Lakmal who actually provided the breakthrough, as he actually took the wicket of Latham for 6. After that, Hamish Rutherford, well, again he couldn't get to his 50. He only contributed 37. And today it was what Sri Lanka did. They made 2 changes. They dropped the debutant Tarindu Kaushal, the red-arm off spinner from the team, and Rangana Herath, the experienced bowler, came in, and Nuwan Pradeep was preferred for Shaminda Ranga, especially considering that there was a lot of they knew that Basin Reserve is such a place where the swing bowlers can really make an impression, and that's the precise reason they brought Nuwan Pradeep into the mix. Hamish Rutherford once again struggled with his form and his batting, but he contributed 37 with 5 boundaries before becoming a victim of Pradeep. And then it was all, as I said, initially we couldn't find much of the seam movement, but suddenly we saw that the Sri Lankan bowlers were really coming into their own, and their deploy of actually having 3 pace bowlers really was justified, as it really paid very good dividends, as these bowlers did a wonderful job, with Lakmal bowling 17 overs, 2 maiden, 71 runs and 3 wickets. Nuwan Pradeep really ramping up his pace at times at 140 Ks. He was costly, but he was the one who was the most successful bowler, with 4 wickets for 63 runs. Damika Prasad 11.1 overs, 1 maiden, 50 runs and 2 wickets. Angelo Matthews bowled 9 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 29, and Rangana Herath just bowled 2 overs for 7 runs, because it was the pace bowlers who were ruling the roost yesterday. And especially considering that the Basin Reserve in Wellington has always been friendly to pace bowlers, swing bowlers and seam bowlers, we definitely saw the results in front of us, as New Zealand were all out for 221. With Williamson was the one who really stuck it out there, and that really showed what a classy batsman Williamson is. He was able to deal with the swing and movement pretty well, and he negotiated the bowlers very well to score a very impressive 69 with 9 fours. He was the highest scorer, and Ross Taylor was the other. That was the only good partnership that happened for New Zealand, which took the score from 62 to 141, almost 80 runs partnership between Ross Taylor and Kane Williamson. And Ross Taylor's contribution was 35 with 5 boundaries. But after that, there was a total collapse. Once Taylor was gone with the score on 141, it was a total collapse for the Kiwis, as they lost the 7 wickets for just 70 runs to be all out for 221, with Brendan McCullum collecting a blob. In fact, he was clean bowled by Lakmal as he incised down to his stumps for attack, and what a a great source of relief for the Sri Lankans, because they would have probably been wary that Brendan McCullum has just scored a very big century against them. There is 195, which was a very punishing knock. And for Sri Lanka, in fact, Brendan McCullum actually inside edged down to his stumps of the bowling of Luckmal for a duck. Neesham could contribute only 15 with 3 boundaries. BJ Watling was out for 11 with 2 boundaries. Mark Craig made 7. Doug Bracewell 16 with 2 boundaries. And also New Zealand also strengthened their pace attack by bringing in Doug Bracewell, by dropping in the spinner, I suppose. Tim Southee was out for naught, and Trent Bolt was not out on 16. 221 all out New Zealand, and as I said, the bowlers were the ones who ruled the roost. Now 221 all out New Zealand. Sri Lanka got into the batting mode there in the first innings, and Karunaratne and Kaushal Silva opened the innings. They were pretty watchful with Tim Southee and Trent Bolt generating a lot of movement off the pitch, and finally Trent Bolt was the one who actually provided them the breakthrough by moving a ball away from Karunaratne. Karunaratne was sucked into it. He fished at the delivery, and Neesham at slips took a smart catch, and Karunaratne was gone for 16 with 2 boundaries. He made the score 18 for 1, and then Kaushal Silva was there, and he was joined in by Sangkarra. But Kaushal Silva, after grinding 5 runs of 30 deliveries, was clean bowled. Now Bracewell really made his presence felt into the team, as he clean bowled Kaushal Silva for 5, and then he also picked up the wicket of Laido Thiramane for a duck. And all eyes were on Kumar Sangkarra at that time. And Kumar Sangkarra, as you know, has been really giving his wickets away to Trent Bolt. And Trent Bolt was firing very well, especially after that wicket. He welcomed Kumar Sangkarra to the crease with a series of testing deliveries. He went closer and closer to the stumps, and he was testing Sangkarra. But Sangkarra, as I said, one was told that he has been practicing at the nets for quite a long time, and he definitely showed that in the centre by defending well, by slowly getting into the groove, and then finally we saw the Kumar Sangkarra flowing as his cover drive came into the picture. As cover drive is one with which one associates Kumar Sangkarra, because I think Kumar Sangkarra plays one of the best cover drives in cricket, and it is a real treat to watch as he beautifully drove cover drove the bowlers for 4. And he was at a time when Sri Lanka needed him, because they were really struggling when Thiramane was out for a duck to the bowling of Bracewell, and then they lost Angelo Matthews to a ball from Tim Southee as he was caught behind for 15, and then another wicket went with Prasanna Jayapradhan, the wicket keeper, at the stroke of close of play, the last over. He was a victim of the bowling of Bracewell for 6, and that made the score 78 for 5. And Sri Lanka were really the innings was looking in tatters, but Kumar Sangkarra there was holding the fort for them, and he had done a wonderful job to be around 40 runs not out. And Kumar Sangkarra, as I said, has to really play himself in. He did that. He was tested, but he stood the test. And finally, that is the mark of a great batsman. And Sangkarra showed that by not only he finished on an in fact, right now, as I'm talking to you, he is not out on 70. Dinesh Chandimal today, who came in, and this partnership, as I said, is really growing now. And I'm sure it is a very worrying factor for New Zealand, because now New Zealand know that Sri Lanka can get into the lead. And that is precisely that's happening now. It's 173 for 5 as I am talking to you, as the match is currently underway. Kumar Sangkarra is not out on 70. He has only 5 boundaries, but a very good knock from him. And Chandimal, as I said, has really played himself into some good form here. He's looking good on not out on 55 with 6 fours. And now definitely Sri Lanka are inching towards the 221 that New Zealand made in the first innings. And it is very essential that Sri Lanka definitely take a good lead if at all they want to go and level the series, because it's a final match, as you know. And Kumar Sangkarra, one good thing that he did is he became the first player in the annals of Sri Lankan cricket to score 12,000 runs in Test cricket. Now, Trent Bolt, 15.5, 3 maidens, 1 for 35. The most successful bowler has been Doug Bracewell, 17 overs, 2 maidens, 51 runs and 3 wickets. Tim Southee, 17 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 54. Neesham bowled 4 overs for 13. And Mark Craig, 6 overs, 1 maiden, none for 18. So Sri Lanka still have a job to do. I'm trying to take you there live to see what is the current situation and really give you an update here. So that this will be the one which will be ending up my cricket happening show this on a late Saturday, as the news from the centre, or the update from the centre, says that Sri Lanka are currently 173 for 5. Kumar Sangkarra not out 70 with 5 boundaries. Chandimal not out 55 with 6 boundaries, and another 48 runs. Sri Lanka still behind New Zealand's 221. But I think Kumar Sangkarra is the one who is nursing them there, and Chandimal coming into form. That is also something that the Sri Lankan selectors would be pretty happy about. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I think I've spoken a lot. That really brings an end to this cricket happening show this on a Saturday, and this is your host Ram saying good night to all of you. Thank you.